Welcome, guys, to the Legacy Day podcast, and I'm Blake Hawkins. I am your host today, and I will be your host moving forward on this great podcast. This is a podcast for driven change agents, people that are transforming people, their communities, teams, businesses, organizations, systems. This is a podcast and a show for people that are ready to actually go out into the world and not just talk about it, but be about it. If you're not familiar with me, and you're probably not, this is episode number 1. I've done over 100 podcast episodes, interviewing guests and doing some solo podcasts. But I look at that as practice. I look at that as just that was training. I call this the Legacy Day podcast because this is something I'm going to commit to long term, and I'm gonna have like over 1,000 episodes of this podcast. And it's going to be awesome. I'm going to do guests. I'm going to interview people. I'm going to do a bunch of solo stuff. But it's episode number 1. And today's show, we're going to jump right into this. It's protecting your property. Today's show is called Protecting Your Property. Okay, let's jump right into this. What am I saying property? Am I talking about your house? Am I talking about real estate? Am I talking about your office building? No. I'm talking about protecting your most valuable asset that you have right now in the 21st century, and that is your attention and your focus. Right now, people spend millions and trillions and billions of dollars going after one thing and one thing only, and that's your attention, your focus, and my attention and my focus. Because where focus goes, energy flows, right? We hear this from Tony Robbins. We hear this from motivational speakers. We hear this from whatever, coaches. But what does that mean? It sounds like some sort of metaphysical thing where focus goes, energy flows. It's very practical. Our actions can only be executed by a prerequisite of our attention and our focus. Where our attention and focus goes, our actions will follow, either subconsciously or consciously. So it's critical that we protect our energy and our focus. And that's what marketers do. Like these media companies and marketers and the news and the media and all kinds of stuff out there, they're fighting for your focus and your attention because they know that that's where the power is. If they can hook your attention, they can hook your energy, they can hook your actions, they can hook your money. And I'm not going to get into all that. But let's talk about how we can protect our focus. How can we protect our biggest asset that we have? Let's jump right into this. It's going to be a short podcast, but I want you to be able to have some action steps that you can take right now. First step, create a big ass goal. What's a big ass goal? A big ass goal is taking a 15-year goal and making it a 3-year goal. If you want to condense it down even more, you can take a 12-month goal and make it your next quarter goal. So 12 months into 90 days. Or you can do 90 days into 1 week. There's all different ways, right? Now, you're like, well, that's not practical. I know it's not practical. I heard someone say this on a podcast recently. It was a business guy. He said, goals are not for achievement. He goes, I set goals to drive my focus and my behavior. I was like, dude, that's spot on. That's spot on. We set goals to drive our attention, to drive our creativity, to drive our behavior, to drive our actions. Now, as we get in alignment with our goal and we start taking action and we start thinking on that level, we will have the results and we will achieve the target. But really the power is that it drives our action. It drives our behavior. So you got to set a big ass goal. That's number 1. Number 2 is you have to create a no list. These are the things that you're going to say no to. These are the things that are dragging you away from your vision, away from your goals, away from your target, away from your destiny. Sometimes these things that you're going to put on the no list are not even quote unquote bad things. The world might say, well, that's great. You should be doing that. Blake, that's a good thing. You should do that. But if it doesn't align with my goal and my vision, maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should have someone else do it. Maybe this task doesn't fit me anymore, but it's in someone else's zone of genius, which I believe often is the case. So we have to create a no list. List out all the items that no longer align with your vision and your big ass goal. Step 3, create a yes list. Now, this is going to be the opposite. This is going to be a list of all your yeses. These are the things, these are the actions, the activities, and the execution that aligns with your vision, aligns with your goals, aligns with your big ass goal. Create your yes list. I personally believe that your yes list needs to be like 10 actions, and you can split those up into different days. But what are the biggest needle movers? Create 10 and identify your big 3. Create 10 and identify your big 3. This is your yes list. These are the things that are going to move you closer to your destiny, the things that are in alignment with your future. Number 4, take your yes list and block those in your calendar. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Go ahead and just put those bad boys into the calendar. That way they're there. You're affirming your destiny. You're committing to your destiny. You're committing to your future. You're committing to your big ass goal. We're not going to be able to conquer and to achieve this big ass goal in one day. It's a process. And to be honest with you, it's a transformative process. And that's why I believe that this podcast, I made this podcast for driven change agents, because it's bigger than just a business owner or a salesperson or a pastor. I believe change agents can be all different walks of life, but man, we have some common threads. We have some common characteristics. Be a change agent. But first we have to transform ourselves. And the best way to transform yourself and your identity is to set a big ass goal and to get in alignment with that goal and commit to it by taking daily actions that are in alignment, that serve that higher purpose. This is episode number 1, guys. Protect your focus. Protect your attention. We don't have to be neurotic. We don't have to be paranoid. You don't have to be paranoid. You don't have to run around like, oh my God, it's just exactly what we just talked about. Set your big ass goal. Create your no list and delegate those things. Have other people do it. People that enjoy doing those things. Number 3, create your yes list and only take action in your productive hours on these activities. Own your destiny. Transform your identity by creating this big ass goal and setting actions that align with it. And number 4, just put those bad boys in your calendar and execute and rinse and repeat. This is Legacy Day with Blake Hawkins. We're in this for the long haul. We're in this for the long term. This isn't a short term thing. We live in a microwave society. We live in a society where we want it now. Hey, I want it now too. And you guess what? We can have it now. It's by taking action. But it's by taking aligned action. Action that's in alignment with our soul, our purpose, our legacy, and then externalizing those things in the world and moving towards a worthy vision, a vision that's worth going towards. There's a lot of visions out there that I feel like people are just throwing and trying to see what sticks. Go find your vision, create your big ass goal, and let's get to work. Until next time, I'm Blake Hawkins. This is Legacy Days.